The great ones, they're different. They really are. Not better, just different. Sure, there's a physical power, a mental strength, a complex but resolute constitution too. There's a whole lot more than just the measurables. That's something else, that intangible. It separates us from them. Welcome to the Legends series on Andy Raymond Unfiltered. "153 games, a premiership and living the dream, or so it appeared. Sometimes it's more than sport." Who is Owen Craigie?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, I'm an Indigenous man. I'm an Aboriginal man that comes from the Camilleri tribe, a little town called Tinga. Now I'm a proud father, first and foremost, before anything. And my life today, if you asked me 12 months ago and previous to that who Owen Craigie was, and I'd give you probably the greatest novel of all time. But right now, I'm a country boy trying to live his best life, along the way trying to help other people.
Make every day count.
Make every day count, brother. Every day count.
As a junior rugby league player, as good as many of us have ever seen, did it just come naturally, mate?
Yeah, I had this conversation 2 days ago, and I was sitting with my mate. He lives at Newcastle Beach. And I said to him, when I ask you this question, don't take this as a weird question. He goes, what? I said, do you honestly believe that I was that good when people talk about me as a schoolboy and a footballer to me, mate? And he goes, fuck, are you mad? Yeah, of course, But it's still hard for me to hear the words from the eighth Immortal say that. It's still hard for me to, catch up with Sammy Burgess 2 days ago and at Airlocker training and going for dinner and talking about, hang on a minute, this is one of the greatest forwards the game has ever seen. He's telling me the first time he saw me play in Widnes when he was with Bradford, he was that squad. He didn't play, he was with the squad. And he said, Owie, when I saw you play, he goes, I went, wow. I want to one day go and play NRL. And to hear that from a guy that took the greatest team in history, the Rabbitohs, to a premiership and played with a broken cheekbone, you pinch yourself. Because I said to Sammy, my sons love you. Yeah. They're Rabbitohs. Like, for you to say that about me, then I just imagine my kid's face. So it's hard for me to really swallow and hear people praise and give you accolades like that. And then when I look back at my career and look at the juniors and that, I'm thinking, how the fuck did I do it? Yeah. 3 years straight schoolboys.
3 years straight schoolboys. The only bloke to ever do it. We're talking 1994, 95, 96. It's a pretty cool record. What does it mean to you now in 2021?
Yeah, well, look, it's been there for 20-something years now. And when I look back at it, I think to myself, I went to the Australian Schoolboys functions, right? And they picked the greatest team ever. Yep. I didn't even make the bench. Right? The Australian Schoolboys. I didn't even make the bench. They announced the greatest Australian Schoolboys team ever. But then what they do is they pick blokes that go on and play Origin in Australia. But I'll guarantee you one thing now, and I'm not being cocky, but in my day, no one would hold a candle to me in Schoolboys Day. I don't give a fuck who it was. You ask any single one of them that went to play for Australian Origin that I played with, you talking schoolboys, they wouldn't hold a candle to me. And to this day I go, fuck, how do I not make it? But obviously if they're picking it on schoolboys, I'd make it. But obviously they didn't pick it on schoolboys.
It happened really quickly for you. Sunday, July 9, 1995. 17 years of age, still at school. You debuted in first grade for Newcastle in Newcastle against the Brisbane Broncos and a crowd 100 people short of 30,000.
Yeah.
A big win as well.
Yes.
What a special day.
It was like a dream.
Was it?
It was like a dream because 18 months prior to that, I'm living in a 3-bedroom house with my brother and sisters, mum and dad back in Tinga. 15 Garner Street. This is how quick it happened. Yeah. And 18 months prior to that, I was 15 years, 15 years of age, And the first people I met when I came down here was the John's boys, Keith Onslow and Billy Peed.
Yep.
They took me to Joe Dundage's gym. They said, we want to win a comp one day. And at this time, I was with the Roosters elite squad, you know.
Yeah.
So I knew Ronnie Palmer really well. They'd fly me down. And I fell in love with the place. And not because of the football. I didn't know who any player was.
Yep.
And they drove me around the beach and I thought, oh, this is great. Seeing the ocean. And
Yeah.
I grew up in the bush, you know. Dry rivers, dry creeks, all that sort of stuff. And then I'm there, you know, just thinking about my dream. How do I now, what do I do that I've now, my dream's real?
Yeah.
And then your whole mind, body and spirit's got to go a whole new level. You got to change, you know what I mean? You got to go up at a whole new level. And I'm dreaming and I'm thinking and I'm, you know, and at the game. And the first person ever signed a contract at the Newcastle Knights in the history was Ashley Gordon, Ash the Flash. So Ash was left wing of this game. I replaced Ash the last 15 minutes. Yeah.
That's a cool little story. Mate, how was school the next day? Because the game was Sunday and you had to rock up for maths and English
Yeah,
and
back
science.
at school, yeah. So at this stage, I had footy cards. I had 3 footy cards.
Yeah.
They had a little chewing-gum in them, you know. So people used to come to school and say, can you sign this? So I say, yeah, you give me the chewy and I'll sign it for you, you know. So I just signed the footy cards, you know, and some of the like the teachers and friends, and it was a bit surreal.
Yeah.
It was a bit surreal because it was I felt sometimes that I lost my childhood at a young age. To hang around my mates and play handball and basketball at lunchtime, and then go straight to footy training and train with Andrew Matthew Johns, Paul Aragon, you know, and do ball work and get ready for a game Friday night. So I'd play schoolboy footy on a Friday and play NRL Friday night, you know.
The early games, how did you handle the expectation, the pressure, the fame, the environment? Because for a 17-year-old kid, it's not normal to be going through this.
It's not normal. Look, what I did was I always wanted to play footy, but the thing was, Andy, I didn't love the game.
Okay.
I didn't love it.
Yeah.
It was an opportunity to get out of Tinga.
Yep.
Matty Gidley loved it. Danny Badiris loved it. I just played it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Really good call.
They done extras. I never.
Yeah.
I done things on the field that got me through, like a chip and a little skip and a jump and bang, bang. People go, oh, wow, fuck, that was amazing. I go, oh. You know?
Yeah.
But people are practicing and to do it. So I knew I had skill, but if I dreamt it, lived it, slept it like Danny, because Danny lived with me, maybe I would have played for Australia too. I would have. I would have played Origin. I would have. But I just knew that, you know, I at this stage, you know, I had 2 houses. I won premierships. I won the last 95 Winfield Grand Final of reserve grade. I put Robbie Ross on the bench. I started fullback as a 17-year-old. You know, my life was...
So these other guys loved rugby league.
Love it.
You
played it,
enjoyed it, you had fun,
played it.
And you played it. But
Yes.
your heart
I didn't
probably
love it.
wasn't right there.
Yeah. No, I always wanted to have a nice car and house and live a good life, and I did. Absolutely, I did. But I just knew that, you know, I didn't love it.
Yeah. September 28, 1997. Was it the greatest day of your professional life? A grand final win and one of the great grand finals too.
Yeah, you know, I watched it the other day for the first time since we won it.
Is that right?
Yeah. Last Tuesday was the first time I watched the full game.
How was it?
I still cried.
Yeah.
I had a tear in my eye. Like, wow. It was like a movie.
Yeah.
We actually won that. And during the game, you know, pass it, kick, but I'm thinking, hey, it's a pretty, you know what I mean? But I'm that emotionally connected to it.
Yep.
It's what we've done. But when people look at it, like, it was the greatest day of my life besides my kids being born.
Yep.
So I remember quite clearly, because I room with Adam McDougall. And the day before, they buried Princess Diana. So I'm sitting in the room watching it. And I ring Mum, because Mum loves Princess Di.
Yeah.
And Dukes is walking around, you know, and doing all this tunnel vision stuff. And
Yep.
And then, you know, for every split second you hit yourself, you go, fuck, playing tomorrow, grand final, GF, you know. This is it, big dance. It's the big dance, you know. And then I got visions of me running around in Tinga, playing with my cousins, running over all the kids in the backyard and playing touch footy under the streetlights and this and that. And then, we went out there, brother, and the night before was probably the most special night when, we all had a big chat the night before, went around the circle. Everyone had to have a say. And from that moment on, I think that's when we realised, like Chief said, we're not going home without the trophy. And, like, we won. They say you play footy, the game don't over till the fat lady sings. Well, she sang and we still played on.
Griffin Air Conditioning offers the highest quality of air conditioning sales and service across the Sydney metropolitan area, providing installation and maintenance to commercial, domestic and industrial customers. Working with this team, you'll be guaranteed the latest services, technology and developments in the industry. Visit griffinair.com.au and tell them we sent you for a cool deal. An amazing finish. Do you still remember the final couple of plays?
Mate, I remember the smells. I remember everything about that.
Wow.
The fresh grass. I remember, and SFX is probably the greatest place to play a game of rugby league. It's a shame that knocked it down, but it was rugby league heartland for me anyway.
I loved it.
Yeah. Inner city Sydney, people coming in with families, the buses pull up, chants, and people chanting and singing out. But I think, that day was just amazing. But, what people got to understand is this, Andy. It's not so much that we beat Manly in the grand final. Like, we saved a game of rugby league in this country because it was ARL Super League war. Hunter Mariners and Rupert Murdoch was up with the biggest checkbooks the game's ever seen.
Crazy times, wasn't it? It's hard to really explain in 2021 to kids that weren't around in the 90s just how crazy these times were. We didn't know what was happening with the game. We didn't know if we'd have a game.
We didn't know if we'd have a game. We didn't know if we'd have a comp.
Yep.
We didn't know if Super League were going to come in and... Well, they come here first because it was rugby league heartland in the world. And if we didn't win that game, they were ready to take over the city, really. Because they were based out at the university, and we had players like Albert and had already signed to go over for the year after, or signed his contracts and blah, blah, blah. And it was just, I feel that game represents not only just the win alone of winning the Premiership, but winning, the significance of rugby league in this country.
I agree 100% with you. Mate, you'd play with 3 clubs, 76 games for the Knights, 23 for the West Tigers, and 3 seasons at Souths beyond that. Apart from the Premiership, what stands out? Is there a moment? Is there a game? Is there a memory that's more important than the others?
Yes, there is. It stands out like dog balls. So my last game for the Newcastle Knights was in 1999.
Yep.
Played the Dragons. I got man of the match. So I'll lead you up to it. So Warren Ryan was the coach.
Yeah.
So Wack didn't like me.
Okay.
And he didn't like Paul Davis.
Yeah.
Didn't like Ewan McGrady.
There's a theme here.
There's a theme here, He got sacked from ABC for making racial comments. And I stood up before social media, before Latrell Mitchell and all the boys on to raise the flag and talk about. I stood up in a time when I had all I had was myself, no social media, nothing, and I stood my ground. And I signed a 4-year contract with the Knights, the biggest contract of my life.
Yeah.
And I walked out in the first 12 months, and I signed with the West Tigers. Warren Ryan made some racial comments at the university. Players, everyone witnessed it in the club, and it shattered me. And before Wack came to the club, they was like, "Oh, this bloke's going to turn you a superstar. He's renowned as the greatest." By Jack Gibson, he's smart. And Wack was a good coach, very clever. And he dissected the game. And he grabbed me by the arm one day. He said, "This is going to be your fucking last game. Robbie O's injured. You're playing fullback." I said, "I'm not playing. I'm not playing for the club. I'll just sit out. I'll go to West Tigers. I'll sign a 3-year deal." And then the club said, "Well, what's happened?" And Wayne Beaver's done a deal. I'll give me a little payout, and I left. But this is the game that stood out. So I wasn't going to play. It was gone,
Yep.
And it was not Dragons Knights. I chipped and chased. So Wack said to me, "No more fucking chipping, no kicking. Leave it to the Johns boys. Let them kick." And And you just make all these little smart-ass comments.
Yep.
Anyway, I got man of the match. And I carved him.
Yeah.
And after the game, I said, you shoved it up your ass. I'm going.
You stood your ground.
And then in the media conference, he said, I'll do all the talking. Talk all you want. Man of the match.
Yeah. You'd done your talking on the field.
Yeah. That game stands out.
We, as in the media and the fans, saw the good times, the tries, the celebrations, the happiness. But this story and the Owen Craigie story is about so much more than football. You wore a mask for much of your career. You hid the issues, you hid your issues. When and what was the first signs that you were struggling off the field to deal with life?
Looking back now is when I had my weight issues.
Yep.
My weight fluctuate. Now, we'd had 4 weeks off. And in this time, Andy, I'd put on anywhere from 10 to 15 kilos.
Eating, drinking,
everything.
All
of it, you know.
Yep.
And then I'd come back and I was always in the fat squads. I was always working hard, extra hard, doing this and that. And after a while, I thought, well, fuck, if pre-season, end of season's coming up, I had a system in place. But looking back now, knowing who I am today,
yep.
Looking back now, I was battling bipolar.
Yes.
I was battling depression, anxiety, stress, and the way I dealt with it was either eating emotionally, drinking like a camel, gambling. Yeah. Along with that, you know, I couldn't hold a relationship because I was never there, or
yep.
I always had like a.
Well, you couldn't look after yourself, let alone look after someone else.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I went to rehab back in 2019 that I really understood who I am,
yep.
why I'm like this, you know. And growing up, I grew up, mum and dad gave me the best life. I grew up in a community where, you know, like, I've had cousins die young from suicide. I've had my next door neighbour, you know, die in his sleep from a fit. I've had playing touch footy, and the kid up the street while we're playing footy got shot in the hands with a 22. You know, from you know, my other mate, you know, committed suicide in his house while I was in year 7. I've witnessed people getting stabbed. Like, I'm not talking about, but you know, like and I thought that was normal.
Because it's what you saw as a young
man.
It's
all I knew, man. It's all I knew, you know. Then when footy come along, I said, this is an opportunity to get out.
Yep.
You know? That's what I mean. I didn't love it. I saw it as a way to get out, to give myself a better life for my family. And then I was fast, you know, I was quick, and I used all them things to get me there. But then, you know, like, and obviously a young kid, won premierships, debuted at 17, bought his first house, imported cars, on big money, playing with biggest players in the game's ever seen.
Yep.
It's dangerous when you got money.
So you have really experienced as a teen the extreme highs, but also the extreme lows.
I don't know, Andy, I don't know I'm alive.
In part 2 of Owen Craigie, The Rise and Fall and Rise Again, we speak about rock bottom, about recovery and chasing the energy. Before you leave, we'd love a 5-star rating and review on the app you're currently listening on. Best weekly review wins an unfiltered trucker's hat. Make sure you come back soon, legends. Welcome back to Andy Raymond Unfiltered. In part 1 of Owen Craigie, The Rise and Fall and Rise Again, we spoke about the move from Tinga, his debut as a schoolyard sensation in the 1997 Premiership. The story continues.
You know, and I sit there and I talk to mum and all my friends and not all the time. They say, fuck, you've had a good life. I said, don't know how, honestly, I've had a great life, but, you know,
Did anyone else know of your problems, or were you one of many that hid it from everyone, even
I
the
hid it
loved
from
ones?
people, but I hid it from people, but people always spoke shit about me. Talking shit. But not one of them ever said to me, you need help.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But then again, like, it's easy to talk shit about someone and belittle him than to ask him, does he want support or help? Because it's not your problem.
That's right.
Do you know what I mean?
I certainly do. As I now know, more times than not, it's a battle of the mind. It's not a battle against someone else. It's a battle with yourself.
Yeah.
True or false for you?
True. So, with the, like, people say, what are you running for all the time? What's this taste in? You think, well, I'll run because it's for my own mental health.
Yes.
I run because it burns the bad energy and creates good and positive endorphins, and that's what works for me.
Yep.
I was the laziest trainer in the history of the NRL, right? But now I train for life.
Yeah. Big difference.
Big difference, and my purpose is different,
Yep.
And my purpose is me now.
Yeah.
My wife's my kids, and I, and that's what I do, and look, mental health is, it's not one shoe fits all.
It's not, is it?
It's not one shoe fits all. People that I help, support, meet, link into, it could be anything from a loss in the family, a separation, a breakup, a death, loss of job, loss of income.
It's different from everyone, isn't it?
It's different, not one shoe fits all,
But the
outcome
is the same, because from that one point we spiral down.
It's a slow death.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
It's a slow death, and people say, are you okay, Dave? Well, you know what? It's every day.
I'm a firm believer in that. Why should we be looking at one date on a calendar to ring or hug a mate? If you're a real mate,
yeah,
you do it every fucking day of the year.
Every day of the year.
Yeah.
And like, I'm glad we're talking about Are You Okay Day. It highlights that, but at the end of the day, what about the other 364 days a year? What about all the people that we lose? It's 3 people a day. We're losing 700 people a year to suicide.
Yep.
That's in mainstream society. What about the Indigenous communities? Double.
Oh, that's horrific.
Do you know what I mean?
Horrific numbers.
And I understand when people say, start the conversation by talking, but not everyone wants to talk.
Not everyone wants to talk. I've also got a firm belief, us as blokes more so, have to take some responsibility in the respect. If someone does say to us, are you okay? Man up. Man up and say, no, I'm not. Because for so long, our ego gets in the way.
Yeah.
And we smile because we're wearing a mask and we say, yeah, no, I'm fine.
Hey, and this is the thing that I've realised. I've been trying to get support for years now, and I have had support.
Yep.
But even though while I had that support, Andy, I was still in denial. Even though you're a counsellor over there, or a psychologist and a psychotherapist sitting over there trying to talk to me, I'm just going, well, this keeps the missus happy. This keeps the club happy. This keeps them off my back.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm great. Oh, thank you for your time today. Great. I didn't want to fucking help.
Yeah.
I'm still in denial.
That's right.
Not until I hit rock bottom that I realised I need to fucking do something now.
We will get to rock bottom, but how bad did it get? It started, as you said, with the pokies and the gambling.
Yeah, poking and gambling, drinking, then there's, like social drugs, and all that sort of lifestyle, and you start hanging around people that you'd never hang around again. You start hanging around people you wouldn't want your kids hanging around,
Good call.
And I started doing that, and then after a while, you lose friends or all this sort of shit happens, and all of a sudden you just go, fuck, I'm actually at rock bottom here, not because people I'm hanging around, but the way I'm thinking,
the
way I'm feeling. I used to look in the mirror some days and look at my skin had changed colour. My eyes would tell her I was sad, and then my weight, I'd drop 8 to 10 kilos and I wouldn't even exercise because of the lifestyle I was living. I was lethargic. I was tired. I'd be watching a show, for example. I'd be driving, listening to a song. I'd have tears in my eyes.
For no real reason.
No reason.
Yeah.
I'd be watching a show with my kids. or movie, and I'd get emotional.
Mm.
I was, you know what I mean? I was just such an emotional person. And the only way I could deal with that was drink, do social drugs. You know what I mean? Do things that I didn't want to do, but it took away my pain.
You mentioned looking in the mirror and not liking what you saw.
Mm.
Was there a point you looked in the mirror and said, this is out of control, this has got to stop? Or
many
were you still
times.
in denial?
Many times, but at the same time, didn't want to change. Because I was thinking, I'll get better tomorrow. I'll get better tomorrow. I'll get better tomorrow.
It's that old school mentality, isn't it?
It's
that
a
we
mindset.
were brought up on.
Yeah. Don't talk to anyone. You're a man.
Don't admit your weaknesses.
Don't admit your weaknesses. You know? I didn't even want to get sick around my ex-wife and kids because I didn't want to, you know what I mean? I didn't want to show my weakness at all, you know? But when they went to sleep or I was away from them, I party hard.
And that's where much of the spiral for many does get out of control, because you're ignoring the physical side of, the positive physical side of life, but the mind won't switch off. And so at 2:30 a.m, not once a week, 7 nights a week, your mind is racing and you can't sleep. And when you're not getting the sleep, that pretty much is a trigger for everything.
Yes, so the number one thing that really stood out me going to rehab is this. We as human beings in the outside world, we judge people by surface.
Yeah.
Their problems, right? Oh, Owen puts on weight. Owen's gambling. Owen's eating. He's blowing the money. Owen. Why don't they get to know what's wrong with the person instead of focusing on the problem? Not once did someone say, fuck, really? You need time out? I wish someone said to me, mate, just go home, back to Tinga for a couple of weeks, you know what I mean, and be time with family. Because I missed my family that much growing up playing footy, and I lived with a family in Newcastle that was taken. I'm the oldest of 7 kids. So I'm leaving all my brothers and sisters, and then 40 months later I'm playing NRL. You know?
So when you said earlier you missed much of your childhood and you have regrets about that, but you missed much of your family life and family life. Growing up.
Family, you know, like I couldn't go to funerals. I couldn't go to certain family events. You know? I was, my life was different, you know. For example, I couldn't even go to school parties or schoolies or anything like that. You know? I just couldn't.
You're playing first grade football.
And look, here's another thing. I'd go and play NRL. I'd go and play ARL. Travel around and play the Western Reds. You know, Malcolm Riley goes, I order yourself a club sandwich, put a movie and have some ice cream. So I wasn't old enough to drink.
Yep. So you're the only one
staying in a motel
by themselves because everyone else on the touring party is
17.
out on it.
Yeah, I'm 17. I can't go to no clubs. You know?
You may have snuck into one or two over the years.
Over the years, yeah, through the back door. But, but, you know, like my life was different. But, you know, when we talk about mental health, it's, you know, we lay down with it. We wake up with it. We take it to work with us. We take it to the beach. We take it on the footy field. It's a part of our makeup, you know, and if you don't get to understand you and why you're doing these things, you'll die. It's a slow death.
Any elite athlete will tell you it takes more than just being physically fit to be at your best. And our friends at Galaxy Finance can have you at the top of your financial game. From home loans to investments and self-managed super funds, they provide complete solutions. Call Galaxy Finance on 1300 91 7740 and mention you heard it on Andy Raymond Unfiltered to get an obligation-free chat to see how Galaxy Finance can assist you. You would come to that point no person should ever reach where the thought of ending it feels like a better option than salvaging it. I'm speaking about suicide. What happened that day?
Yeah, so at this stage, I was just living up the road at Charlestown with going for a separation, you know, and now looking back, my ex probably, she had every right to leave because the life I was living obviously no one would put up with it, yeah?
Yep.
And, I just kept, I thought, yeah, we'll sort it out, we'll get back together, and every chance we got, I was drinking and whatever, and one day I remember, about a week before, my brother and his kids come down, he said, I'm worried about you. No one hears from you. We haven't seen you. You're not ringing us anymore. I didn't realise. I haven't spoken to him in 10 months, 11 months. I just speak to him every day. You know what I mean?
You were just stuck in
I was
your
stuck
world.
in my world. No food in the fridge, a couple of bottles of water, empty pizza boxes, Chinese laying around. My house was always clean and tidy and stuff, but I was a fully functioning addict. I think he fully functioned. But then it was one day I was on the veranda and I started crying. I started crying to him on the veranda. And I told him, yeah, I'm right. In my mind, I'm thinking, I can't wait for everyone to go. I don't like this pain anymore.
Yep.
I know I'll go, I'm going to knock myself. And I'm driving in the car, stress lucky. And I'm thinking, if I jump, I'll jump backwards. If I land on the rocks, the water can wash me away, so if the kids see me, you know what I mean? And then for some unknown reason, something made to ring Matty Johns.
You rang Matty?
Yeah, so when I moved down to Newcastle, I stayed with him and Trish for a couple of days. And me and Matty got this relationship, and it's weird hearing myself now talk about the old me, talking about things that you only see on the movies.
Yeah.
But this shit's real. As we speak right now, people are losing their lives to this demon.
What did Matt Johns say when...
I rang him and I said, Matty, I couldn't really talk, I was sobbing. So I was gasping for air when I pulled over. My skin was grey. I was real pale.
Yeah.
My eyes were bloodshot. I haven't eaten for a couple of days. I was real lethargic. And I'm thinking, this is the perfect time. I'm out. I said, Matty, I'm tapping out. I can't do it anymore. He goes, what do you mean? I said, I can't do it. I can't live this life anymore. I'm tapping out. And that's all I said. He said, where are you? So I'm in the car park across Dixon Park. And I'm still gasping for air, struggling to breathe. Right? Because I'm out, Andy. I'm not going to sleep tonight. I'm not waking up tomorrow. I'm fucking fully out. I'm not glass half full. Yeah. I'm not in. I'm out. And then he goes, just wait there. Do not move. Promise me you won't move. And I stayed there. And Kurt rings me straight away. Big fella, what's doing? He goes, where are you? I said, I'm down there. He said, righto. Better get things in place. Before Kurt was involved in the Knights Old Boys.
Yep.
What the Knights Old Boys done for me.
Did they save your life?
Yeah. Yeah. 4 days later, I'm in rehab. First week in rehab, I tried to walk out 3 times. So I'm still thinking to myself, I'm perfect. I don't need help. And Jan Earl, Shando Earl's mum, Jan Earl.
Yep.
And Mental League Foundation, Jess McCarthy, Paul Heppenstall, NRL, and the Knights Old Boys Foundation. I owe my life. And I cried every night. I cried every morning in rehab. I didn't speak to anyone for the first 7-10 days. So I was really critical and judgmental of everyone that was in there. And the greatest thing I ever did was go to rehab to find myself. I realised a lot about me.
Do you recall the next time you saw Matt Johns and Kurt Gidley and what you said to them?
I just give them a cuddle. Just no words. Just a cuddle. And,
you're admitted to the psychiatric facility. As you said, you endured lengthy rehabilitation. How confronting was it? Where they force you to look into the mirror?
Yeah. So rehab is all about. So rehab's a spiritual healing, 12 steps recovery. So when you go, you got to have let's say you got to have a spiritual awakening, or you got to have some sort of spiritual journey to reconnect the flame, the spirit in yourself. So what I learned about me at this stage was I'm 41, I'm going through a divorce, I'm a father of 3 kids, binge drinker, I'm on the coke socially, I'm gambling, I'm broke, I'm homeless, I'm about to go bankrupt. 41, well, I should be living in the French Riviera, living on the yacht, eating caviar, drinking Crown lagers, with the kids. That's the life I should have had when you candle up. But wasn't meant to be. So what you need to do is understand, well, what next for Owen Craigie?
Yep.
And my life today is, I don't have a structure, I don't have a diary, I don't know what tomorrow brings. Today I'm with you, and you've sent me a few texts to remind me this now, because I would have forgot about it, because I'm caught up in the working on me and looking after me.
Yep.
Only thing I know is I see my kids on the weekend, and that's the highlight of my life, And when I'm out there doing Chase Energy, Chase Energy is not about publicity or promotion or accolades or anything like that. Chase Energy started by mistake for me, because when I got out of corrections from the police, I was looking like doing jail term. Yep. I started running, and I did a post 2 days later about recharging my batteries for life. When the phone goes dead, you recharge it. Hey, what better way to start, Andy, than at the fucking bottom of the barrel? The only way is up for me. That's what it is.
This story is about so many different things and has so many elements. The positive aspect of this is in 2021, you know a lot more about yourself. You have direction. You are helping others, which is helping you. You've mentioned a couple of times the term chase the energy. We just heard how it started. Define chasing the energy to those that are sitting down listening to this podcast, and not every day is a good day for them.
No, so it's like this. People text me every day. I love chase the energy. I now get it. I didn't understand at the start. I said, well, good. So what chase the energy is about this? I don't talk. I'm all actions.
Yep.
Activate your life to give your mind good fuel, good food. Feed your mind good food.
Love it.
Exercise. Activate it. No more fucking talking. You can go to any pub in Australia and get a schooner. Someone will counsel you.
Yep.
Give you all the expert advice in the world. You know what I mean? It'll cost you $4.20 anywhere in Australia to get a schooner, and someone will give you all the advice in the world. But it's like this. If you really, really want to change your life, if you're in the dark room right now with the aircon on and you're only talking to people by social media and you're not coming outside, if you're tucked away, if you're anxious, if you've got anxiety, if you're scared, if all these things, you're battling the black dog, whatever, I guarantee this, and you can Google it, it's scientifically and medically proven. Through exercise, walking, jogging, swimming, skating, it will save your life. So go out there and chase what no one else is going to give to you. It's that energy back into your life, energy for your mind, energy for your spirit, energy for your body. And the best time to do it, this is the key, the best time to do it is when you don't want to wake up and you don't want to go outside and you don't want to talk to anyone. You learn to flip the switch on yourself. Don't care what anyone else thinks about yourself. Only you should think about what you think about you.
Where can we find the movement and information about what you're doing, mate?
Yeah, so you can get on my social media. So I'm on Chase Energy Instagram, Chase Energy Facebook, or Owen Craigie on Facebook and Owen Craigie on Instagram. Either one of them. It's in 11 countries now. It's been going 7 months. It's been 11 countries. So,
really?
Yeah.
Good on you.
I've got people from Spain, Malta, send them posts and videos, and I can't even understand some of the stuff because it's in different language, But it just goes to show that it's real. Yeah. We don't want no more talk. We want actions. You know what I mean?
As we sit here You're 42 years of age. What does a 42-year-old Owen Craigie say to a 17-year-old Owen Craigie?
I say, well, listen, brother.
Yeah.
I was once you. You know, man, I never listened. The people that listen the most are the ones that are going to absorb it. Took me 41 years to fucking realise what the fuck was going on. You know, we all come in with a number. We all go out with a number. Between there and now, it all depends on your decisions and choices. And you set yourself some little goals. People talk about it, goals. You just have one goal. My one goal every day is to wake up and fucking be happy and just go for a run.
Yep.
Right now, that's me. You know what I mean? And I've learnt that I can't do two things at once. One.
The most important question of this interview. How are you now?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. I'll come up here, do your podcast, you know. I've got mum and dad there. I see my kids regularly. I'm helping people. I've got a website that's getting set up now. I've got a clothing line. I've got an energy drink that's coming out, non-caffeine, low in sugar. I've got water. I've got a meals. I chase energy meals, and I'll be going around to schools and that, doing public speaking and stuff like that. You know, I've got a caravan donated from a real estate that I can feed the homeless 2-3 nights a week. So one thing I've learnt in life is this: the greatest gift you can give someone is give them back. That's free, Andy.
In fear of sounding condescending, as that's not my intention, I'm proud of you, mate. Telling your story, it's an important one, it's a cautionary one, and it's an example of climbing out of holes when not every day is perfect. Owen Craigie, I say this with a tear in my eye and emotion in my heart. You, sir, are a legend. Thank you.
Thank you very much, brother. And just before I go, anyone want to reach out, they can reach out to Lifeline, Beyond Blue, Black Dog Institute. Thanks for your time, brother. I've always been a big fan.
We hope you enjoyed Owen Craigie, The Rise and Fall and Rise Again. Before you leave, we'd love a 5-star rating and review on the app you're currently listening on. Best weekly review wins an unfiltered trucker's hat. Make sure you come back soon, legends.